Hey, welcome back to Age of Strife. So, Ginger and Luther, what are you guys doing?
Um,
Hmm.
Luther is very angry. He doesn't know where to direct his anger right now. So he's back at the estate and he's probably just sitting around plotting, maybe just fuming.
Tried to play you.
Yeah. And he really, for some reason, he really just does not trust the Miss Sarah. He has a bad feeling about it.
Hmm.
Have you
So,
expressed this bad feeling to the rest of your family?
Yeah, he told Stefan and Ginger back before he went to talk to the lady, but outside of that, he hasn't. He's just kind of being a bit quiet about it and thinking, trying to decide what our next step should be.
well, this servant who gave you this offer, if we can find him again, just capture him.
Yes, I wish I'd taken more time to get a good idea of what he looks like and kind of imprinted that to my memory, but I was too focused on the situation at hand, I suppose.
How about you, Stefan? Did you see maybe whereabout from his looks? Could you tell where he might be staying? Because from the sounds of things, it was just a peasant or something like that.
Well, he definitely had the bearing of a servant. I don't think that can be taught. It would be someone very skillful to do that. I think if there's only so many servants, I think if we keep an eye, we'll eventually run into them. I don't think they'll move quickly now that we have brought this plot down as such, and done it legitimately. Going to the Genhools might have been a bad idea because it does show that we went to them and are working with them. We may have made ourselves an enemy, but I think we should just put this aside for the moment and just keep an eye out for the servants.
Yes, if they're going to handle it, they're going to handle it, and we don't need to take any other part in it. I suppose I don't know what else we would do.
Still, we have enamored ourselves to the Genhools, at least
But
slightly, and I think that will be remembered.
I'm not sure about the about Miss Sarah. Uh, I'm still not convinced that she's innocent in this. But
Regardless, that's nothing we can directly interfere with now. That's up to them to determine, and we will work with whoever it takes. That is the nature of the politics of nobility.
yes,
Who knows? Maybe one day I'll remove you and become heir.
No.
Luther just has a dry smile at that, and I think he stands up and he says, "Well, with that out of the way, what else? What else should we be doing today? What is
I,
there
th-
take
I
care
think
of?"
we continue with our plans, see how that goes, and there's certainly I think there are opportunities in every direction. And then from there, I'd say we head out on the morrow, unless something else comes up.
Head out to where?
Hmm. Well, we do have that map. Neil, what was the rundown of the
It's in player family notes
Oh,
2. I think I've copied and pasted it
Yeah.
in there. Here we go at the bottom from Joseph Thorne Treasure Hunting.
lovely.
I will just re-describe it for chat. The pirates had a resupply station. Ooh, I should bring up the map. North of the Tuk Tuk Mountains. Let's get our map going though. There we go. So the pirates had a resupply station just north of the Tuk Tuk Mountains. There was also an ancient temple that's rumored to be at the center of the Shade Wood. A crypt in Wadsworth ought to have quite a lot of valuables in it. Rosebloom, which is one of the villages in the Meadowlands, has a large cemetery with a few significant mausoleums in it. Some of them have been broken into before. Nixon has a few things. There's the main temple, the Temple of Martha, the keep at the center of town, and 3 major noble households. There is an elven village just inside the Blackthorn Forest that William's men sacked during the war. It's west of the hills, north of Wadsworth. There's also an abandoned human village inside the Blackthorn Forest, just west of the Barrens, which, if you look on the map, is southward on the map. And there's the old lighthouse on the peninsula, east of the Shadewood, and the abandoned villages on the edge of Lake Lowrun.
Well, from that list, sorry, here we go. You go, brother.
The lighthouse that Joseph mentioned interests me a bit. It seems the journey wouldn't be too perilous, and if there's something of worth there, it might be a good idea to see what's up. I think
Yeah, and certainly a lighthouse would on a peninsula would certainly stand out. So as long as it isn't just reduced to ruins, it should be easy landmark to find.
Yeah.
yes,
And
I needed to be gathering some herbs anyway, so the trip would be worth something in itself.
how
don't
many
think-
how many villages would we find between Wadsworth and the lighthouse?
0.
So they're all on the Meadowland side.
Yes, there used to be some between Thornwatch and Wadsworth, north of the river, but they had some goblin problems, and so the villages were abandoned.
All right.
For me, I think we can eliminate some straight away. For example, I don't think at the moment, given the recent news, it's a good idea to go near the elves. They seem to have been stirred up by something. I think that would be a nightmare. I think going anywhere near the Tuk Tuk Mountains is a logistical nightmare.
Yes,
Um,
the marsh. I don't like the idea of going into the marsh. I'll be honest.
Nixon, yeah, the marsh. I don't. New clothes would be required after that. Nixon's and Lake Run have horrors in them. So I think that leaves, and the crypt scene's untenable. So I think it would be the lighthouse, the temple, or Rosebloom. That could be an interesting one.
I'm up for going to the lighthouse and maybe checking out the Shadewood as we pass.
That may be a good idea. Maybe we should ask Joseph if he knows anything more about these sites.
And also our father to see if he has ventured that way and see what he has discovered as he went through.
So you could talk to both Joseph and your father at the same time, gather them together in sort of a meeting. This is kind of what they live for, is finding this sort of information and sharing it and getting ready to go reap great rewards. So when you ask about the lighthouse, your father says that he never went there. He kind of figured anything in a lighthouse that was that unprotected was probably already taken and probably not worth all that much. And being the great warrior he was, Nixon's just a better use of his time. But it might be an interesting place for you guys to start. Your uncle says he doesn't know of any wealth in particular that might be there. It might be completely empty, or there might be something there, or who knows what. But it is, a great structure that is no longer housed, and as long as we're good with money and can afford to take a gamble on no wealth, it might be a nice place to start.
It certainly would be an interesting journey to have a jaunt so far away. Go see the ocean. I've never seen the sea.
Yes. We have time. We don't necessarily need to be finding riches, and I believe this is a decent shot.
Father, what about Rosebloom? Have you visited there before?
Not that important of a village. It's one of the larger ones, run by the Wyatt family. I believe Lady Condi Wyatt. Oh, I know, no. Rosebloom is where they make that delicious wine.
The Wyatt family.
Yes.
I just noticed.
Yeah. What of Rosebloom in particular?
Well, if you have already visited there and
I have
clean-
avoided looting crypts, less you can call Nixon a crypt, which one could make an argument, but that's neither here nor there. I have tried to keep my hands free of the earth.
I think that is wise advice. And did you do much with the forest?
My older days, when we were still soldiering about, but after the war ended, there was a sense of we make a move against them, they might move against us, and while it might have been personally profitable to venture in and pick apart things, it might have been dangerous for the town and for us as a people. But it has been 50-something years. I'm sure things have cooled enough that an incursion, well, as we saw, those men just washed up on that boat, that raft. Clearly, there's no war at hand. I don't think we would risk outright roar by something like that. Then again, if you actually sack a city or a town, the bigger point at hand, though, is that elves are some of the most fierce warriors we've ever seen. When we were fighting them, every battle we won, we came out very unfavorably on. Pyrrhic victories, almost. Unpleasant sort of fellows. Lots of time to practice swinging their swords, shooting their bows.
So not wise to make an enemy of them. However, so certainly they might not like us sacking an elf.
Yeah, might not like you is a bit of an understatement.
But the human village, which has been abandoned, just inside the forest, might still be that they may not take great issue with.
That's true, but those devious bastards have probably looted everything out of it already. Heartless elves.
Depends on how much they have need of the loot, how
True.
much they desire that.
Well, choices are yours.
Well, everyone, what do you think?
Oh, well, I would like to visit some of the outside villages to hire our possible captains of our guard. So, where was it? Rosebloom.
Rosebloom.
That one's on the way. Whereas the lighthouse is just calls to me in a way that the others don't, because it's just out there next to the sea, and that's just such a great sight.
I agree.
Potential deciding factor for Luther, at least, is he's been looking into stitchberry bushes and where to find them.
Yes. Where? No, those are one of the poisons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stitchberry bushes. Okay.
Are there any potentially on the way towards the lighthouse, maybe on the edge of the marsh?
Probably. Stitchberries are not uncommon. They're just, rather large, big bushes that they're fucking unpleasant. They're got all these little thorns in them. They're really irritating.
Yeah.
And brushing up against them just makes you really itchy. So it's best not to leave around your greenhouse.
Yeah, so there'd be some going towards his lighthouse, would there be some in the Meadowlands too? Or
Not so much in the Meadowlands. You might find one or two here or there. You can probably find them plenty in Blackthorn Forest or in the Stinking Marsh.
okay.
Suspect probably the River Grove and Shadewood as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Luther says that I think the lighthouse would be a good idea as our first adventure out to these locations. I do have some berries to be picking, I'll say, on the way.
Very well. It is decided. The lighthouse.
All right.
In the meantime, I have to go visit the sheriff.
Yes. Don't do anything too drastic. I don't want to have to see the sheriff right now, to be honest, but just don't go too crazy. I suppose.
I think the recent werewolf incursion and now dealing with it will give us even more leverage, and certainly the rumors going through. I think we have to negotiate with full discretion.
Yes, yes.
So,
So,
you head off to the sheriff's station. Ginger and Luther, you hanging out at home for a little while?
Yeah, Lucy's
Yes.
gonna stay behind and think a bit, I guess.
Okay. Well, it is Sunday afternoon when you arrive at the sheriff's station. He's there. He is currently locking up some prisoners. As you walk in, he kind of gives you a wave, like, I'll be there in a moment, as he finishes locking up some gates. And then
Of
turns
course.
around and goes, oh, Mr. Thorne.
Yes, indeed. Can we have a conversation so the prisoners can't hear? Like, what's it?
Yeah,
Is that a
if you step away from the prisoner section and speak quietly, or you can step
Yeah.
all the way outside.
Sheriff, a word, if we may. I
walks
think
away.
we have things to discuss.
Now, I was hoping that matters between us had been settled after this werewolf nonsense.
Well, that's what I wanted to double check. So you see, you understand that the dealings between us, we have our honor and our position, which must be respected, as must your position.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure you've, and once we are given our word, then we need to fulfill it. So, if you remember, I said that I would be spreading the word and then inform the Countess about the recent dealings you've had with the bloody trolls.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm thinking that perhaps, you need us. We are the only nobles who support you, and you only have a limited amount of men. And so it's very hard for you to do the work of protecting the village, especially if threats such as a werewolf is coming into town.
You're
It
saying
shows
I'm
that,
not doing my job well enough for you?
no, if you had been listening, I said the exact opposite of that. I said that you do not get the support from the noble families enough to do your job well. You do the job as admirably as you can.
So you're saying I'm not doing my job well in a condescending way.
No, I'm saying that you are limited by your resources. You do a fantastic job, and you have made arrangements with the bloody trolls and others like them out of necessity. I understand that. As I made it very clear, we always did understand that. However, I'm sure you would agree that as much as we may not be landed like the other nobles, and so therefore we are in a position to help you as well. I'm sure you'd agree with that.
I feel like you're getting around to a point here.
I am, but it's important that we have an understanding first. As you said a moment ago, there was a misunderstanding. It was not a fair negotiation unless both parties are fully aware of each other's position.
Fair enough.
I understand that you have your hands tied.
Okay.
Would you agree with that?
I would say it's a hard job to keep this town under control.
Absolutely. And certain concessions must be made. That is, logistically, it makes sense. And so, would you say that is your position?
I'm getting a little tired of you beating around the bush here.
Well, you have to go through, and because this is exactly what we're talking about. See, the next threat was for us to go to the Countess. Now, if you understand the politics of the situation, then you would be aware that that while the nobles and us nobles in general prefer status quo, upon the threat of the populace revolting, action must be taken. That's the position the Countess will find herself in when I bring the news to her, especially with the town stirred up by these horrible rumors that have been going around. However, rumors themselves are not enough to destroy things. As I said, the status quo is enough. So what I request is for you to come out and have a night drinking with me. As I offered you, and you turned down.
You want to go out drinking?
That is correct, and I want us to have a fantastic night.
And I feel like there's got to be a bigger point here.
Yes, there is. Our position is of nobility. Therefore, we would expect, and really, society would dictate that the proper respect be shown to us. Now, of course, society will also dictate that the proper respect be placed on your position. So if we have an agreement around that, then you would, of course, as courtesy dictates, accept my invitation to go out drinking as a sign of good faith.
All this is just you want to go out drinking with me.
Yes, and also that the proper respects be shown.
You're getting ready to... All right.
Very good.
You know that
We'll be-
the prisoners are gone, right? Bluebeard's been burned, and the other guy's out of here.
It was never about the actual end result. It was about how we got there. And how we got there was rather unpleasant and showed a distinct lack of, well, the position of the situation. That is all.
Okay. Sure.
Very good.
Did
Excellent.
you have a location in mind, or?
I think there will be many locations when we go out. This is proper on a proper celebration. There is one other matter as well. Now that we have tidied it up and we can establish proper relationships, we are now in the position of seeking men at arms, and I require your assistance to locate an individual which would have the show initiative. As you know, in this town, there is no one who is trained martially. You are the only one who would really have the means to know those people. So perhaps when you have recruits, if you find one of promise, if you could send them our way, that would be good. Or if you have one in mind, that would be very good.
No, we haven't been looking for new recruits in a while. I don't have the money to pay the new guys, so we've just been sticking with the same old folks since I came into office. But if I come across somebody looking for a job, I can send them over your way.
Yes, just make sure you test them first to make sure they are suitable.
I won't send you anybody that's gonna hurt themselves.
Very good. I would want someone with good character, who does not drink too much, and shows the initiative.
Okay.
Very good.
I'll-
So I shall contact you when on our return to the city, and we shall spend a night out in the town.
When you return to the city, you're leaving?
Yes, we're going to be going out to explore the regions around us. It's time that we took up our father's mantle.
Okay. Well then, good luck. Try not to get yourselves involved in any witchcraft. And we'll see you on your return.
Very good. Good day, Sheriff.
He gives you a nod, and that's that. So, the family reconvenes at your estate. It is afternoon. If you're going to leave to the lighthouse, you probably want to do it tomorrow, unless you want to head out right now.
I think tomorrow's good. Luther also wants to look for. He just wants to make sure he has everything he needs to gather poisons and stuff like that. Just make sure he has some flasks, maybe pouches dedicated just to some irritating leaves, I guess, that I might be collecting.
We still have a wagon, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
We don't need it for this one though, but
Nope.
But you have a wagon.
the three of us going to the coast. Is that all we need? Yeah.
You'll need food. You'll need water skins, and whatever other gear that you might want to bring along. Can someone mark a wagon on your family document so that we know it's there somewhere? That's not already.
How long is this journey?
It's like 36 miles or so. I believe. No, 30. Yeah, 31ish as the crow flies. But then you're gonna have to round the river, avoid the swamp, come back up, over and down. So like 36, 40 miles, something like that. So we're looking at a day and a half to get there. If you go 24 miles in a day.
Okay. I guess when Luther's out making sure he has everything he needs for his herbalism, he'll also pick up 5 days of food and water skins for everybody.
Okay.
Okay. And will we take both the donkeys? I'll take mine.
Probably just need one. I'd say.
Yeah.
Let's take one.
So I'll take my healthy young donkey carrying the spears, and whichever else needs to be on it.
I mean, how encumbered is a donkey? Because if we do find treasure, we need the capacity to carry it back.
So spears are not heavy; they're just long. So don't worry about
A donkey can carry 90 pounds of gear without being encumbered. Or 180 and be lightly encumbered.
Okay, so we've got room to move then.
Yeah, so 90 pounds is quite a bit. I can't imagine you would... Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to find there.
Find some statue.
So make sure that you bring everything that you're going to need. Ropes, lights, whatevers. Because unless it's on your character sheet with you when you get there, you don't have it.
Okay. Do you guys have ropes and grappling hooks and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah,
Okay,
how much
so-
just the dry rations and water and all that stuff?
I have 6 rations currently at home.
Okay.
Okay, so your standard rations will last a week. If those are standard rations that you bought last week, Ginger, they have been eaten or thrown out.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, those are like, that's fresh food that you can buy fairly cheaply, but it degrades pretty quickly. Dry rations are preserved food, so they're more expensive to buy, but they will last for 3 months.
How long's it been since the campaign started? It's been 1 month, hasn't it?
It's been a month and a half.
Okay.
It's the 20th now,
So I've
and
still-
I think we started on like the 2nd of October or something. I don't quite remember.
Right. Yeah, I've still got 3 dry rations, so they're good for a month and a half.
Dry rations are 3. Oh yeah, another month and a half left. Yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. So we have rope, we have grappling hook. Anything else that we might need? Sleeping stuff. I've got a bedroll. Do we need a tent or something?
I've got my bedroll, my medical kit, my horn, and spears. That's it really, and of course the armor.
Okay. You also have all of Ty's gear.
Ooh.
I don't know what you're doing with it, but you have all of Ty's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the horn.
Okay. So we move. So you guys should like cut and paste things from his character sheet and move it around so we can like delete his section of the notes.
Yeah. Does anyone? Who do we think would take Ty's signet ring? I feel like somebody should keep it.
That probably goes to the family. Yeah.
Typically, signet rings are destroyed upon someone's death so that you can't falsify documents based on that person. So unless you guys had some weird desire to keep it, I
Okay,
think
then
that
I
was
guess-
like smashed with a hammer and completely ruined.
Okay.
We could have melted it down and sold the components.
Yeah. I mean, you smash it first, and then that way it can't be stolen before you get a chance to melt it.
Yeah.
How much did we get for it then?
Um,
2 gold or something?
yeah, it probably only costs about 2 gold in weight. Gold.
Alright. Woohoo.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Alright, so we have everything we need?
Is that it? I think so.
$15 dry rations is 9 gold, I think. I'm just getting that. And I'm
Yeah.
sure we have water skins that we could just fill up.
I've got 2 water
We all
skins.
do, yeah.
If it's on your character sheet, you have it. If not, you'll have to buy it.
I don't have any, so I'll buy 2 of those.
They're 8 silver each. They weigh a pound, and then you can add a quart of water for another 2 pounds.
Okay.
Is 1 water skin the correct amount to have for this journey?
And there's no such thing as the correct amount. You can usually drink a water skin a day when you're traveling. And hopefully you can find sources to refill it along the way, is the idea.
Okay.
1 is nice, but then if you run into an area with no water, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So 2 is pleasant to have. 3 is careful, nice and careful.
Okay.
Okay, everyone geared up.
I think so.
Okay, can I delete all of the stuff under Ty Baradite? Someone's taken his arming sword, his dagger, his horn, his chainmail, his shield, his sling,
Oh,
and his
yeah.
rope.
Yeah, I have that listed further down actually, as stuff
Is
that
it-
we'll sell
yeah.
eventually. So,
In the current treasure, I just took a couple of items.
Okay, I'm just gonna clear his thing then.
yeah, you-
So, I would have to have my backpack and my shield on my donkey to move at normal rate. Just putting that out there.
Okay, that's fine. You can have all that on your donkey.
I'm moving at half rate, so
Half, like 6.
yeah.
Oh, well, in that case, then I'd walk around with my shield on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
I'm at movement rate 9.
So you guys are moving at so if you're moving at half rate, then you're only actually going
It's
12
actually gonna
miles a
take, like,
day.
forever. Yeah.
It's gonna take
Yeah.
you 36 miles. It's gonna take you 3 days to get there.
Well,
Because Luther's so
you can-
weighed down by all this
You
stuff.
can put some of your backpack on this donkey because the donkey's only got 34.5 pounds on it right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm already planning to do with the water skins, but I don't.
Okay,
And the
fair enough.
dry rations I bought.
Now
The
you got
armor-
7 HP. You don't need your armor anymore.
Uh,
I have 8 HP and I've taken 8 damage every time I get hit.
Well, then you also don't need your armor.
the armor's just so heavy that Luther just can't move around very well in it. But chainmail's 40 pounds itself, and my base encumbrance is 45.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that shield's huge.
yeah. The shield's 16 pounds.
Yeah. Well, you can leave the shield on the I mean, I'm sure you can figure it out. Okay, you guys ready to head out?
Yep.
Okay. So it is the next day. It is the 21st of November. It is a Monday, and you guys are heading along towards the lighthouse. Let me know if you're
I am.
gonna be able to reduce your gear encumbrance.
I can. No, I'll probably still be at a half movement.
You're gonna be a half. Okay.
Yeah. I'm constantly looking around for not only the whatever berry it was. Let me look it up.
Stitch berries.
Yeah, not only the stitch berries, but also for any poisonous animals like frogs, snakes, spiders, and scorpions. I think just kind of having an eye out in case I see any underfoot.
Okay. Well, let's get ourselves some overland traveling music, or background as it might be. Okay. Head out with your donkey. What is your donkey's name, by the way?
My donkey is Spike, and if we're not taking the other one, then I don't know. Does the other one have a name?
I think
Yeah.
we
Doris.
named it, and I don't remember what it is right now.
Let's see.
Yeah, Doris.
Doris.
Doris, the older one with
Yeah.
less health.
Doris, the
poor
old
her.
nag.
Yeah.
Okay. Take a look. Any plans? Anything in particular you're doing while you're traveling that I should be aware of?
I think to gather the herbs that Luther wants, we're kind of like skimming the stinking marsh, and then maybe skimming the shadewood a bit on the way there.
So the first 2 days go without a hitch. You can definitely find some stitch berries in those first 2 days along the edge of the march. My question is, what are you doing with a stitchberry plant? Are you taking the whole plant? Are you just taking some samples of the berries, just some samples of the leaves? What? And how
I
do you
have an
approach this
idea
stuff?
of what it is that
There's
poison.
an oil on the leaf and also on the berry that is just really, really irritating, and also the stems have little thistles all over them.
Okay, so I'll be trying to.
Wait a minute.
What would be the best way to collect the oil? Would it be like crushing the leaves and the berries?
Yeah, so the... why does that say debilitate? That should be...
Is it not debilitate? 'Cause
yeah, I can see why you're going after it here.
yeah, because what I would want to do is gather throwable flasks of it.
Right. I am looking at this and... there's something wrong here. There should be... no, that should be... uh-oh. Did we not finish making this table? I can see exactly why you're going after the stitch berries now.
Yeah.
I hadn't looked at the chart since we made it. So for those of you watching on stream, the onset time is a single round, and its effect is debilitating, which reduce your stats to 1/2 and give you AC and hit penalties of 5. And its duration is 24 hours. But if you pass your save, it becomes just an irritant, which hits you at 2.
I figured the duration might be pretty long.
Yeah, there is something... there's definitely something wrong here. This was not... let me take a look at the version history on this document.
Gee, no, I think I'd appreciate if you got some known fire, some known dust, some hypnotics.
Yeah, I was looking at the alchemy, but alchemy, I assume you need the proficiency to do any of that,
Right, right.
and that's only for wizards, so unfortunate. Because acid flasks would be nice too.
This should be an irritate / nothing if you pass the save. It should be a really annoying scratching, itching sensation that really just screws with you and makes you constantly... it's like a fast-acting poison oak sort of thing, where you're just constantly... It's not supposed to be a debilitating, you're like
I
stats
don't-
are reduced by half on contact.
I don't know if I even care about that berry then.
Yeah, sorry about that. That is my fault for not finishing my lists correctly. I'll have to take a look at this during our next planning session to make sure that everything else is correct.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the animals then. Poisonous frogs, snakes, spiders, and scorpions.
You didn't specify small ones. We could be in trouble.
No, I'm just looking for all kinds of the. Well, yeah, it's like to find a massive snake.
All right, so 3 days pass without a hitch. You find no poisonous creatures. You skirt the swamp and avoid the dangers of within that. You don't see any centaurs while you pass River Grove. You get kind of close to the Shadewood at some points, but you just... it's really dark in there. You kind of have a creepy feeling about it, and the wind picks up just a little bit, and it's just... there's something eerie about the Shadewood.
I feel like we should stop at the Shadewood and just take a look in for a while. Because there's meant to be a temple in there, but we don't want to go in, but want to find out about it.
This place gives me the heebie-jeebies. Ugh.
Yeah.
This is not the sea.
Yeah, it seems a bit I don't know. What I've read about the Shadewood is not exciting.
Okay. All right.
Ugh.
Do we hear any echoes of laughter as we're skirting along the side?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, well, that's good.
Nearing the end of your 3rd day, you have made it to the peninsula, and you start heading down towards the lighthouse, which you can see in the distance. It's a nice clear day in the late autumn. And there's this large tower just kind of standing out at the end of the peninsula. How would you guys like to approach the lighthouse?
With our feet.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess
we could stand outside it and blow our horns like last time.
yeah, see what comes out. I guess we get to where we can see it and we stop and have a huddle.
The sun is going down, and while the sky is clear out to the south section, you do notice kind of storm clouds rolling in from the north, which will be fantastic, as if you guys remember, there was this bit of a drought going on, and it's been very hot as of late.
Yeah.
It's been
That's
unusually
the
warm.
thing. Right. I would have talked to Max about that at some point, but I will. I'll save that for later.
Yeah.
But cool.
Does it look inhabited or anything like that? Does it look like it's in the area?
I mean, it's miles away right now, so you can't see any signs of inhabitation or
Yeah, I guess.
abandonment.
We'll just keep on trucking for a little while.
You guys make the final 3 miles to the lighthouse as the sun is setting over in the forest. Your donkey's with you, happy as can be.
I say we make camp and perhaps by the ocean and then spend the day tomorrow exploring.
What time of day is it?
Yeah, if it's early, I guess we wouldn't want to.
No, it's late.
The sun,
The
it's
sun is setting.
Okay, yeah. I guess we kind of make camp.
All right.
Okay.
With
you guys
a
make
view of the
camp
ocean.
outside the lighthouse?
Yeah, I'm looking for a view of the ocean.
Well, there's ocean all around you. Lighthouse is built at the very end of the peninsula. There's a bunch of... It's kind of goes down in a steep cliff just past it. Maybe 30 feet high. So not too terribly steep, not too terribly high, but still enough that you wouldn't want to fall off.
Yeah.
At the
I'd say-
base below, there's no...
I'd say just a... Sorry.
At the base below the cliffs is not a beach. It's actually just down to kind of a rocky area where the waves crash on, sending up spray every now and then.
Yeah.
I'd say we camp a little bit back from the edge, but so a short walk, so we could go sit down and watch the ocean crash up against the peninsula.
Yeah, and Luther will recommend that we all take a 4-hour watch.
As you guys make camp, start to collect firewood and that sort of thing, you can see the storm is getting a little closer, and you can hear the rumble of thunder moving in from the north.
Luther, you did buy a tent like we requested, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
How big's the
Excellent.
tent?
It is a large tent. I don't know how big that means, but
A large tent is pretty. How much did you put it on the donkey?
that's a good question.
Well, I mean, how large is a large tent? How many?
It's
How
not
many?
the largest tent, but it's 15 pounds.
A large tent is pretty good. So if you think a small tent is like almost a lean-to sort of small shelter for 1 or 2 people, a large tent could easily fit 6 folks if you snuggled in nice and close.
Okay.
So you can all fit in a large tent together, and your donkey if you want.
Is the large tent the kind that you can stand up in? It's not quite that big.
Not. Yeah, you could probably stand up in it and have your head brush or like lean over a little bit. It's not the nice big pavilion tents that are like 7 feet tall and have the steepled roof that goes all the way up to 9 feet and big round
that seems
things.
Much for camping in the wilderness.
Right.
All right then. So we take watch. Just keep an eye on.
Yeah,
The
the
lighthouse?
idea for the watch is just to watch the lighthouse. Yeah, make sure nobody or nothing goes in and out.
All right.
You guys make camp there 3 days later. It is Wednesday night that you guys go to sleep, keeping your eyes on the lighthouse.
Yep.
You know what?
Pat-
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Pat, have you removed the rations from the group loot?
That should be
No.
9 days of rations removed.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Why don't we take a break, and when we come back, we will deal with the lighthouse. See you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.